What's up, everybody? If you are a small business owner, sales professional, or an entrepreneur, this video is for you. I'm going to try to break down as much content that we did from, by the way, I'm Joe Torres, founder of Club 100, and I'm going to try to break down as much of the content that we discussed at the mastermind this past Wednesday, that for some of y'all that missed. If you're not part of Club 100 yet, you have to be personally invited. So if you are watching this video, whether live or replay, and you want to be in Club 100, or you want to just join our private group on Facebook, inbox me, DM me, or comment below, and I will add you to the group. Right now, we're at a little bit under 60 members. Once we hit to 100, we're not going to allow anybody else in. But for some of you guys seen me post as my wall cover, and in Club 100, I also posted an image as a wall cover. And what I learned, what I want to talk about in this video, is the math and psychology behind building $1 million business. And I think most business owners don't realize it isn't that hard if you look at just the simple math, right? Psychology, we'll talk a little bit about that while I go through this video, but let's just talk about simple math, right? If you own a business right now, you need 5,000 customers this year to buy $200, right? Also, as I break down these numbers, you can look at them on my wall. Here's the thing that you guys got to remember, though. $1 million business doesn't mean that your $1 million profit, right? That's not what it means. It just means you did $1 million in sales revenue. And for some of you guys that know me personally, if you ever talk to me or I ever send you a voice note, you might hear Shark Tank playing in the back, because I've watched all the seasons. I'm rewatching them again. And because every single one of those businesses, for the most part, I would say 80 to 90% of the businesses that come on are already in the $1 million arena, right? So I'm thinking to myself, why you personally haven't done that. Now, two quotes that I've offended a lot of people by, two quotes that I've said to people, and it got me kicked out of groups, and it offends people when I say it at my events, is that if you're not making $100,000 a year take home in your business, you have a hobby, right? And for the average business owner, and I'm going to talk about it, makes only $35,000 a year, so most likely you haven't hit that number yet. If you're not making at least $1 million a year in your business revenue, then you have a job. So either most business owners have a hobby or a job, meaning that they're trying to get it to $100,000, right? And for most people that are in business, they're just trying to make enough money to cover their overhead if they have any, or they're just trying to make enough money to pay their bills, which is fine. That's how we start out. We all start that way. But at what point do you want to see the business scale that now it becomes something that's bigger than you don't have to work it all the time, right? And we talked about this at the mastermind: sell to survive, recruit to retire. So you either got to have 5,000 people buy $200 this year, you got to get 2,000 to buy 500, 1,000 to buy $1,000 worth of stuff, 500 to buy 2,000, 300 customers to buy 3,000 this year, 200 customers to buy 5,000, or 5,000 customers to pay you a monthly, $17 a month for a year, 2,000 to pay you $42 a month for a year, 83 or 1,000 customers to pay you 83 for a year, 500 customers to pay you 167 a month for a year, or 300 customers to pay 278. Now, whatever business model you're at, don't just look at it like, oh, I got to sell 5,000 people 200. That might not mean that you get 5,000 customers. That also, you could flip that and say, hey, I just need 200 customers to pay me 5,000 throughout the year, right? That's another way of looking at it if we want to reverse it, because really all businesses and all building a business is math and psychology, right? Math is, I got to know the numbers. I got to know how many people I got to get in, how much I got to sell this month and whatnot, so that I can break even or at least make a profit. And I also need to know how much that I would need to sell in order to hit certain numbers. So like for a person that's, and we'll go to the next one, if you're a millionaire maker, right, if you're making $1 million take home, right, then that means you're worth $530 an hour. Now, odds are, if you're thinking about your business currently, how many times have you spent an 8-hour day and you haven't even pulled in $500? That means then you're not worth $1 million, right? Well, can you be at least worth a six-figure income if you were making $53 an hour, meaning if you spent 8 hours today on your business, right? Because I'm going by a typical 40-hour a week, even though we know as entrepreneurs, we work 80 hours so we don't have to work somewhere else for 40, right? And as entrepreneurs, we have half days. We just got to decide which 12 hours we're going to work today, right? So point being is, if you want to be a millionaire maker, you have to be making $530 an hour. And I can guarantee you a lot of people, friends, vendors, customers waste your time that you won't even see that number. But can you at least make a six-figure income by pulling in $53 an hour with your business? And when I say $53 an hour, that means that after everything's said and done, overhead, cut, all that, you're taking home $53 an hour, right? For a lot of business owners, a lot of small business owners, startups, their business is kind of like a hustle. They're just hustling, right? Just to get clients, to get some money in. I get that. But when are you going to work on the business, not always in it, and figure out how can we restructure it? How can we do something better? How can we find a way to have ongoing revenue coming into the business? So that's why I do Facebook advertisement and Instagram ads, because I know that if you don't have a source of people coming into your business brand new, you're going to eventually go out of business because you don't have enough, right? And then the business that you have, you're not selling them on average enough, right? And we could talk about that on a different channel. You guys come out to our next mastermind next month and we can have a big discussion about this. But just so you guys know, the average business owner, which was crazy to me when I first found out about this, only makes $34,000 a year. That is it. $34,000. I was making 40 grand as a grocery manager for Whole Foods Market back in 2001. So why would you get in business only to take home $34,000? Well, here's what happens. Because your job or your business is now a hard-working job now, and it's a hobby because you're not pulling in at least a six-figure income. I think that's at least decent to live and to for a family to live off of, right? But it's because you kind of are stuck now. You don't know, what do I got to do to get more revenue in this month? And if you want to break down the numbers this way, $1 million business is $83,000 a month. A six-figure income business is $8,300 a month, right? So did you guys know this? 87% of all business owners fail in the first year. So if you already been in business for a year or more, congratulations, you have beat 87% of people that would typically go out of business at this point, right? If for the 13% that survive, right, only 95% will be still around in the next 5 years. So if you've been in business for 5 years, congratulations, you've beat out about 87% of the first group and 95% of the second group, right? Now here's another, out of the 5% that survive from that business or being in business for 5 years, 99% are gone in 10 years. So that means most businesses will be gone within a 10-year mark. So if you're in a 10-year mark and you're not at a six-figure income, at least we need to talk. If you're not shooting to make $1 million, or maybe you're capped out, because what happens with most businesses, they get to a point where they make so much revenue, but whatever it is that they're doing and all the different avenues of how they bring in customers, it caps out, and they never try to find ways to stop that. They get comfortable and they kind of get stuck, right? So happens a lot in traditional business, happens a lot in network marketing, where a guy makes so much money, he starts making $40,000-$50,000 a year. He's decent with that. He gets comfortable. He caps out. This is not Club 100, and working with me or Smash Media is not about capping out. It's about trying to figure out, how can we scale it? How can we get you to a higher level? How can we make you more money, right? Now, 1% who survive never make it to $1 million. Why is that? Well, let's talk a little bit about the psychology of bringing in money, right? We talked about this at the event, so I'm going to go through them a little bit fast, and then I'm going to give you guys 5 things that you could be doing right now to start to scale and take your business to $1 million, because I think you should be shooting for $1 million, so then if you accidentally hit 200,000, 300,000 in revenue, you're going to be happy. You're going to be making some decent bank. So let's talk about this, why money moves. I wrote this one thing back in the day. It was called the Money Pyramid, the 1%er manifesto I wrote years ago. And one of the things I learned as working with entrepreneurs and being in business since 2001, and I've not only had my own $1 million business, but I've also helped another company go to $1 million. I've helped other companies do $1 million in sales, but I've personally have built my own $1 million business once, and then one time about 600,000. So, and another time helped another company reach $2-3 million in their company's revenue. And what I've learned over the years working with so many different entrepreneurs and business owners is these are true. Money moves to certain people, right? And money does not move to people that are good, because if money was to move just to good people, then some officers, I was gonna say all, some officers, some pastors, some doctors, some nurses, they'd all be rich and they'd be flowing with cash. But that's not how money works, right? The Kardashians have no skill set at all. They're just great influencers because they get a lot of eyes. So the first one we're going to talk about is money moves to celebrity. True or false? Money moves to celebrity, right? If you guys don't realize that, then how can you kind of put yourself in the celebrity status? Well, that's why I talk a lot about Facebook ads, because if your face or your video is in a Facebook ad, it's being spread throughout wherever we target, and those people that never knew you existed before now know you, and because you're in an ad or because you're in a video that's being promoted all over the internet, that automatically puts you in a celebrity status. And whether we like it or not, money moves to celebrity. And why does it move to celebrity is because with celebrities. And because they get so many eyeballs on them, they get big endorsements, they get big, right, promotions, and they get a lot of money. Second, money moves to social media. Did you guys know, right now, when I started doing social media training, maybe, I want to say 7 years. I don't know the exact number, so don't quote me on that number. But probably like 7 years ago, we did seminars teaching people how to do social media. We even manage people's social media. We still do it today. But we knew from years ago, and unless you're living under a rock, money moves to social media, period, end of story. That's why, because it's where all the eyeballs are, right? And if you're trying to influence a market and you're trying to capitalize on a market, then you're definitely going to be on social media, right? This is, again, why I started off teaching social media and doing landing pages and helping people create organic funnels and building their business that way, getting leads in and then turning around, converting them into money. But now I go into advertisement because now I can actually handpick who we want to see the ad. We can handpick who we want to get in front of, right? And that's it. That's why if you ever watch Shark Tank, Mark Cuban always gets excited when he finds a business that basically built it all through social media because he knows how powerful social media is. Money moves to social media is number 2, right? Moves social media. That's why we do advertisement on Facebook and Instagram because, you could do ads on TikTok, you could do them on Snapchat, on all of them, but for whatever reason, Facebook is still king and now Instagram is starting to catch up. And Instagram is a great place to advertise because it's where the eyeballs are at, right? Next one, money moves to ambition and clarity of future. I love this quote, a clear vision of the future gives power to the present. Money moves to people that are ambitious and have a clarity of a future, right? Most businesses don't set up thinking 5 moves ahead, thinking of where they want to go. They don't have a real big vision. They don't have a dream. They just kind of started it. They're making some money, good. But at what point does it now just become a job or a horrible hobby, right? I don't know. You guys know the answer to that question. I'm just talking in generalization, and then you can kind of take what you get from this. But money moves to ambition and clarity of future, right? People that know where they're going, money comes to them because they have it all aligned. They're all ready to go, right? Same thing when you watch show Shark Tank, they always want to know, what's your vision? What are you trying to do in the next 1 year, 3 year, 5 years? If you don't even have that, you're not going to get no money. Next, money moves to the educated. I've spent about $100,000 in my lifetime, probably since of age 20 to now I'm 41. So over the last 20 years, I've probably spent about 100 grand, everything from books to seminars to programs to all that. And now, even though a lot of the seminar industry, which we talked about, the mastermind, is a lot of bullshit and it's a lot of pitching and a lot of pitch fest, you still got to get educated. You still got to know how marketing works. You still got to be always updated on how these social platforms are working. You still got to be educated on how the tax laws have changed. You got to be educated in the new laws when it comes to hiring people. So money moves to the people that are educated because they've actually taken the time to go look for answers, right? If you suck at sales, then you should be reading every book known to man on how to sell. If you suck at marketing, you should be buying every book known to man on marketing, because even though not all of them are perfect, at least it gives you an insight and idea of what you should and should not be doing when it comes to building your business. Money moves to the educated, period, end of story. There's nothing to say. If you're too lazy to pick up a book and read, then this is the reason why you're not going any further, because you're not growing any further. You're exactly who you are yesterday because you've not tried to learn anything new. And it happens that's why women are capitalizing in the business space, because they want to learn. Men, they think they got it all figured out. We always hear the old boys club, and we always hear about the old boys people, whatever, how you call it, because men don't want to learn. Men think they got it all figured out. Men don't stop for directions. They'd rather go drive around and get lost for a couple hours before they finally ask for directions, right? So money moves to the educated. I remember years ago, I bought a GPS because I was that man. I didn't want to stop and ask for directions. So at this time, when they didn't have GPS on the phone and all that, I said, I got to buy a GPS. Money moves to people who sell. Ding! Right? The answer is always no if you don't ask. And if you're not constantly trying to look for a new prospect or constantly talking to new people to possibly make a sale from them, because I only make a sale to a person to make them a customer. I don't look for customers to make sales, if that makes any sense. Meaning, I only want to make a sale to an individual because I know once I break the barrier and they've given me money, whether that's $5, whether that's $10,000, that person has now trusted me, and now I can go to work helping them solve their problem and help become their solution, right? But until they actually take their credit card out, until they actually exchange money, I can't help them, right? Because I'm not doing this for free. I'm an entrepreneur. But to go back to the point though, money moves, right? Money moves to the people that sell. You should be constantly selling. And even when you're not selling physically, hey, give me money today, you should be kind of subconsciously selling people, so that if whoever you have online following you, you're kind of pre-selling them that eventually they want to buy from you because you do solve their problem, whatever that may be. Because that's all we do as entrepreneurs, we solve problems, period. Money moves to passion, right? Nobody would come watch my videos and nobody would come to a mastermind if I wasn't passionate about talking about entrepreneurship, marketing, sales, recruitment, tax law, everything, vendors, how to deal with vendors, all of that. We talk about all that at the masterminds because these are answers you're not going to find easily. And sometimes you need to meet other people that have already made that mistake before you have so that you can learn. That's the whole purpose of a mastermind, is to learn from other people's mistakes, but also learn from other people's successes as well and say, oh man, that's a great idea. I'm going to put that into my business. So money moves to passion. If you guys want to know why more money's not moving to you, is because we're talking about it right now in this video. And this is the psychology part of building $1 million brand in a business, right? Money moves to passion. Next one, money moves to decision. Right? True or false? Money moves to decisions. It moves to people that know yes or no right now without thinking about it, whether that's a good idea for the business or if that's a good strategy or that's the thing we should move on, right? Unfortunately, for most business owners and entrepreneurs that I meet, they're not very decisive. They're very scared. They're worried. They second guess their decisions, and that probably has a lot to do with who they hang out with and who influences them. They're constantly second guessing what they're supposed to do because you're discussing it with the wrong people. You can't go to people that have never had a business and tell them your ideas and think they're going to say, right on, you should do that, man. That sounds like a great idea, because they have no clue and they can't see it. They don't believe it, right? They have to see it first, right? So then we kind of get to this point where we're trying to spend our time trying to prove ourselves to people, which you don't have to, right? But money moves to decision makers. Money moves to people that decide. Money moves who have standards, that say, I don't like this in my world. I don't accept this in my world. I don't allow people that do X. I don't want people that do this around me, right? Because people that make decisions are the people that are the most successful. That's where money goes. Money wants to hang out with people that make decisions. Money wants to hang out with people that love to make money. Unfortunately, for a lot of these new entrepreneurs, they feel guilty making more money. But then what was the point of getting into business, right? One of my quotes that I came up with years ago is, don't be a dummy. You're in business to make money. Or if you continue to follow the masses, you'll continue to be broke asses. Stop following everybody else, right? You're original. Don't die a copy. All right, that being said, let's talk about 5 things that we talked about at the meeting. 5 ways to start building $1 million enterprise without hiring a huge staff. And I just noticed that at the meeting it says with hiring a huge staff, which you don't, right? You don't have to. But here's 5 things that I've looked up an article. I have my own personal experience from this. This is why I do, again, Facebook advertisement, because I like to have something automated, right? So number 1 is automate your business, but I also like something that I can turn on and off anytime I want, and it does what it needs to do, right? So to stay focused on the big picture and boost efficiency, you must automate as much of your business as you can. Today, technology can help you virtually everything from marketing to customer service. This frees time for high priority pursuits that only you can handle. And in most cases, it will save you money. So meaning, you guys got to learn how to find tools that should automate your business, because you should be spending time making the big deals, making the big transactions, making the big joint ventures, the big calls to get more of what you're offering and selling to a huge or a bigger community, bigger audience, right? One of my favorite quotes too, you guys will love this, is it's easier to create a new speech. It's easier to create a new speech than it is to find a new audience, I think, is it? I'll come back with that one because I think that's how it is. But number 1, when building $1 million enterprise, you have to start automating, because you're only limited to so much time. You're a solopreneur for the most part, unless you got a little bit of a staff. You're doing everything by yourself. Number 2, hire freelancers and contractors. Even with automation, though, many entrepreneurs reach the point where it's too much work to do it alone. Relying on freelance pros who can help with tasks like bookkeeping, web design, digital marketing, payroll, etc. helps the owners get more done in less time. Sell to survive. Recruit to retire, recruit to retire, recruit to retire. You should be already recruiting and thinking about a team that you need to build, because you can't do it always by yourself. You'll be doing it forever. Number 2, though, going to this, like I remember when we used to have a call center that we owned, and I also had a staff of people that helped me with my distributing of fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, one of my early businesses that I built to $1 million. When we had payroll, that was such a freaking headache for us. So we found a company called Paychecks, which actually did it all for us. Not only did all we had to do is send them the numbers, and they did all the payroll, they did all the minusing and taxes, they sent the checks to them, they did direct deposit, they would take the money out of my account and then distribute it through all my people, print out all the paperwork, put it in a text sheet for the year, so then I never had to do it. So if you guys are a person that has a payroll or you're doing your payroll on your own, I used to have a client that had a moving company in St. Charles. First thing I told him, man, get paychecks. He was doing it all through whatever that program is with the money. I can't think of it right now, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. He was doing all of it himself. Why, man? When you can hire somebody, they didn't charge that much. I think it was like a couple bucks per employee per payroll. Nothing. So like for like 30 bucks to 50 bucks, I think they did it all. Why would you not do that, right? So number 2, hire freelancers and contractors. Number 3, outsource key functions. To extend what you get done in a day, entrepreneurs also turn to outsourcing for everything from content marketing to bookkeeping to payroll. The advantage of outsourcing, it can also provide continuity, operational expense control, and risk management. One simple solution to collecting money is PayPal, Stripe, or Square. When we were at the mastermind, we talked about PayPal, we talked about Square, but we recommended everybody they should use Stripe. And the reason why you should use Stripe is because there's so much more functions and features, and I think the percentage per transaction is cheaper overall. So check out Stripe if you guys never have. It's definitely a company that you might want to use in your business to help you. But to go to some things to help automate your business, because I didn't talk about them. If you do email marketing, but you have a database of people, but you have emails, but you have not marketed to them yet, use a company called MailChimp, MAIL, chimp, like the monkey. It's up to 2,000 contacts. It's free, and you can send out 12,000 emails a month. Even when you start getting in more, a bigger list, it's nothing, man. It's like 30 to 50 bucks, and it's the easiest platform to use. If you're a business that needs to set appointments, or you need to get a message out to all your clients, or maybe you have a business that is slow during certain hours and you want to get traffic into your location at times that it's dead, or just it's dead in general, then you might want to look into a company called Call Loop, where they can actually, for 10 cents a text, 10 cents a call, you can literally send out a text blast to everybody in your database, or you guys can send a call or a voice recorded message to everybody in your database, right? All right, so anyways, going back to number 3, outsource the key functions. This is the reason why people hire us. Like, we just had a client recently that has 4 nail salons, and he wants us to do everything from set up the ad, to manage the ad, to run the ad. He wants us to manage his Instagram accounts and do all the content there and have it all in line with one. Not every business owner is like that, right? Some business owners want to do it all themselves because they're being cheap. But you can only do so much. Why not hire somebody that's an expert in it, that already knows how to do it, and then do it for you? So this guy, he's going to have us test out 2 of his salons in Illinois. We help work with those, and then he'll let us do the other 2, right? So that's beautiful to us, because now we can show him there's so many things and so much potential that what he could be using. But sometimes the reason why we can't see it is because we're in the frame, right? We need an outside perspective. We need somebody that can look at your business and say, okay, dude, change 3 of these things. You may want to fix this. Maybe you need to stop doing that. You might want to up the prices, right? That's a lot of what I do. Is I come in and I'm looking at the whole business. Even though I'm doing mainly marketing for them, I look at the whole business, because I'm an entrepreneur first before I'm a marketer, before I'm a salesperson. I'm an entrepreneur first. I've had businesses since 2001. My family's owned businesses, so I've worked with tons of business owners. I've worked for other companies and helped them build their companies. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to just entrepreneurship in general. So I look at the business and give them all kinds of ideas and strategies on how they can build it and scale it, because we all are in the same planet. We all have our business, whatever business you run, and you want it to grow, right? And you need help with that. And none of us is as smart as all of us, so you might be stuck in your frame and need an outside perspective. Number 4, I love that this article said invest in social media advertisement, because of course that's what I do, right? But it's great to see companies and articles talk about it, because it makes so much sense. So let me tell you guys a story. Many million-dollar one-person businesses turn to low-cost social media advertisement. There's a lady, you guys look her up, the founder of Pink Colada. She started a bathing suit company with just $200. She found a company in China willing to make a prototype of what it would look like, her bathing suit. She spent $5 in a promo ad on Facebook just to show people, to see if anybody would care. It's kind of what she did was genius. I teach it a lot, pre-sell, where she had now, for $5, she was testing it to see if anybody liked it. She started getting instant orders, and then all of a sudden, then went right to her distributor and bought them. So then she did it again. She's duplicated that process, came up with more prototypes, put them in advertisement, Facebook ads, and what you guys don't know, if you don't know this, Facebook ads also automatic create an Instagram ad for you. If you have a business page and you got an Instagram page, you should connect them. You should make your Instagram a business page if you haven't done that yet, so you can connect the two, because now when you market on one, it markets on the other one. But also, when you run a Facebook ad, it automatically creates an Instagram ad for you, and then we can look in real time where you're getting all the sales from, where you're getting all the leads from. Is it coming from Facebook? If it's coming from Instagram? Because once we know that, then we can tweak the ad to market more where it's getting it. But what I love about back in the day when you used to do Facebook advertisement, it costs a lot of money because you were paying for click. You were paying per click is what we used to call it. And what that meant was is that you were paying anywhere from $5 to $20 per click just to your website, hoping that when they went there, they would buy something. And in most cases, they didn't. Now, today's advertisement with Facebook, we can literally create an ad for you that the customer's immediately in your inbox asking when they can sign up, when they can do this. Or if you're someone that does e-commerce, we can have the ad go straight to purchase, right? Something small, give them a little discount. So then now we can look at the numbers and say, damn, for every $100 we spend, we're making this much money. Let's continue, or let's even up the ad spend because we can afford to, because it's making us money. It's making us profit. Unfortunately, most people that do Facebook advertisement or Instagram advertisement have no clue how to do it. So they'll go set it up, put a couple words out there, some images, and then they spend a couple hundred. Most average business owners spend about $1,000 and nothing happened. Well, that's because you didn't know how to target properly. You didn't have the right words down. You didn't have the correct offer. You weren't going after the right audience. So many different things that happen with it. That's why I think a lot of people will find us and then say, just do it for us, man, because I don't know how to get this rolling. And I know I need it, I just don't know how to do it, right? So number 4 is invest in social media advertisement. You know, what I love about social media advertisement as well is that we can pick how much money we want to spend a day. We can turn the ad on and off through an app. So you spend whatever you want and you can turn it on and off as you want it. All we do is make sure it's successful. We set it up, we do it all, and then at the end, we manage it for 30 days to 60 days until it gets results, and then we hand it back to the client. If they want to keep doing it on their own, then they're on their own. They don't pay us ever again, but if they don't, they can always hire us, and then we can just manage it for them. It's whatever. As long as it's profitable, you're going to do it, right? Number 5, spend time developing yourself, right? Hire a business expert, take an online course, join a mastermind group. This may seem like a luxury to those starting out or current, but studies show that most entrepreneurs who reach 7 figures are committed to constant learning and feel it's a necessity. Reading, watching videos, attending business discussions is the easiest way to avoid making mistakes that other entrepreneurs have already experienced. I personally, like I said, have spent over $100,000 on everything from programs to events and masterminds, right? So this is the reason why I have a mastermind group. If you guys are not part of it, get in the group, right? We have a Facebook group, but if you're in the group, now you just got to make sure to make it an effort, make it a reason to come to the actual mastermind, so then you can be part of the discussion, right? Because not everybody wants to sit around and watch videos. We want to talk to real entrepreneurs, right? And for any of you guys that are basically running a business currently and you're not using advertisement, right? You need to, because if you hire us, we only need $100 from you to test an ad, right? You're paying for us to create it, but once it's done and once we test $100 in the marketplace and we show the result and you're making sales or getting a lead or however your business model runs, because every business is different, then we can now help you come up with a strategy now that ad is doing its work for you every single day, every single month, day in and day out. You're getting results because we've already proven the concept, we've already tested it, we've already got results from it, and now it's just a matter of how much you want to spend this month, how much can you handle. And that's what I love about it, because that's the question. The real question is, how much business can you handle? So like one of the first questions I ask business owners, how much are you currently doing and how much can you handle? Because that's what we're gonna go for, right? I hope you guys learned from this video. Share it, comment, let me know what you think. Talk to you guys all soon. Work your way to the top because the bottom's too crowded. Become a 1%er, man. Join us, Club 100.